17 people with a U.S.-based missionary group have been kidnapped by a violent gang in the capital of Port-au-Prince. Now American officials are working with Haitian authorities to try and secure their release. Evan Lambert live in D.C. with the latest. Evan, what is the U.S. doing just to get them back safely?
Adrienne, the State Department tells us it is in touch with Haitian officials there, working to get those 16 Americans out of the hands of those kidnappers. This group based in Ohio, Christian Aid Ministries, says that their missionaries were traveling, visiting an orphanage near the capital of Port-au-Prince when an armed gang kidnapped them. This was on Saturday. Now, they include 16 Americans, children as well, and 1 Canadian. Authorities say the gang, 400 Mawozo, is behind this. They have a reputation of violence and kidnapping. The gang's alleged leader has faced murder charges. According to a Haiti-based nonprofit, kidnappings are up 300% in the Caribbean nation. Now, the Washington Post reports it obtained a WhatsApp message sent from one of the missionaries. It says, quote, "Please pray for us. We are being held hostage. They kidnapped our driver. Pray, pray, pray. We don't know where they are taking us." In a statement, that group, Christian Aid Ministries, said, quote, "We request urgent prayer for the group of Christian Aid Ministries workers who were abducted while on a trip to visit an orphanage on Saturday, October 16th. We are seeking God's direction for a resolution, and authorities are seeking ways to help." Adrienne?
All right, thank you so much. Evan, I do have one question for you. You're hearing about protests being held later today. What can you tell us about that?
Well, we know that certain groups, especially in the transit industry there in Haiti, are protesting over these deteriorating security conditions. And you'll remember in July, that country's president was assassinated. That investigation still ongoing.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate that report. But joining us right now, James Pierre, an award-winning journalist from Haiti who lives in Florida now. He's been covering the turbulence in Haiti for years. The 2010 earthquake, the presidential assassination this year. James, we know you're familiar with all of this. And we've understood that security has been a very long-standing problem in Haiti's capital, but the situation has worsened, correct?
Absolutely. It's out of control, not only by Haitian police, but also by the new Prime Minister, Ariel Henry. Most of the time, they try to negotiate with the kidnappers. We are talking about one of the most powerful gangs in Haiti, the Mawozo. They operating more in Croix-des-Bouquets, that area. They also go all around to Titanien, where all the 7 missionaries have been kidnapped. Literally, all they can do is negotiating with the kidnappers because they've been defeating the police several times. They kidnapped a few months ago citizens from Dominican Republic. They kidnapped religious missionaries before, and all they had to do was negotiating with them. The police somehow give excuses that they don't have enough police officers to respond. They don't have enough weapons to respond to the Mawozo. A very difficult situation, as we know that Haiti is getting towards elections now.
James Pierre, tell us about the estimates of how many gangs are a problem there, and that kidnappings like this one are only expected to also get worse.
Well, before the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse, they were talking about a few gang members, at least several neighborhoods or hoods that they have in Port-au-Prince, 7 to 8. Now we are seeing a surge after the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. It seems that they are saying, well, if it's out of control, we need to have our own group to protect ourselves. Now, one of the very important non-profit organization in Haiti talked about 700 cases of kidnapping in Port-au-Prince alone. So you can imagine, at least on a daily basis, there is a case of kidnapping happening at different parts of Haiti. And what is very strange is sometimes if you're going from the north side of Port-au-Prince to go to the south, you need to negotiate at least to 3 to 4 gang members for them to give you a green light in order for you to go on your way.
And that is a reason why we were hearing from so many of the immigrants who had traveled from South America to the U.S.-Mexico border saying that they didn't want to go back to Haiti, that it was too violent there, that they had no future there. Is that true?
That is so true. And we have recently a statement made by former Haiti's envoy to the United States, Mr. Foot, mentioning that Haiti is very unstable right now and Haiti is without protection. And a prime minister of Haiti is talking about, okay, we go to the election, but the population is not ready. They are protesting on the streets. And we have also some gang members on radio, on TV, clearly sending the message, police cannot go to that area. We control that area. And that is what's happening. And on the other hand, you have many Haitian migrants now going more up north. Either they go to Brazil, Mexico, destination to the United States.
Now, many Haitians are actually calling on the Biden administration to send in troops to stabilize the country. That's not something that has been decided upon by this administration. Do you think that this group being kidnapped will actually move Biden's hand? And then do you think that the chances of Haiti actually coming to order on its own are even possible without U.S. involvement?
I think the U.S. has been involved in so many ways in terms of keeping Haiti safe. In a way, we have the UN peace keepers that are in Haiti. We had before the minister in Haiti. What is really needed, I've just learned that agents of the FBI right now on the ground working with the national police to find a way to release these missionaries as soon as possible. Military presence in Haiti, we know what that gave before in the past. The Haitian population don't really think that is what's needed right now. They think that it's more reinforce the national police and making sure that they have more intelligence information of where the gang members are locating and where they find the weapons to operate like that. Many of the gang members, they have even better ammunition and weapons than the national police itself.
All right, James, thank you for your insights.